Now here's the man that needs no introduction.
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
I've always wanted to do this.
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
What's your connection to Parkinson's disease?
Hey everybody, it's Jim here.
Sorry, that's my foot.
I'll do better next time. Spinning Wheels, Parkinson's Conversations with Jim here. It's Jim here in Ottawa, Ontario, and with my friend Mike in Toronto. He's behind the scenes, making sure that we look and sound pretty good. Today's guest, if you followed the Spinning Wheels tour, you'll know all about. He's one of the permanent or constant riders logged for the Spinning Wheels tour. He logged 8,000 kilometers in distance, climbed 50,000 meters in height over the entire country. Welcome, Steve Iseman. Steve, thanks for coming out today.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey, let's jump right into it, Steve. Can you tell us about your Parkinson's journey so far?
So I've been diagnosed for 10 years. I was 42 when I learned of my diagnosis, and I spent the first half of that time, the first 5 years, in hiding. My concerns were mainly about my employment. I didn't want anything to interfere with my career path. I guess I was really trying to hold on to the world as it was, and it took a while for me to accommodate change. What really brought it about was when I learned about the benefits of cycling or intense exercise, and for me that's synonymous with cycling, and how it impacts people with Parkinson's, that it has a near medicinal effect, potentially could slow the development of the disease.
What is it that you think that cycling does for you in terms of mind, body, soul, and Parkinson's? What's the magic with cycling?
For me, cycling ends up being the hub of everything. It's my social nexus, my athletic output, and frankly, when it comes to Parkinson's, it's the thing that I use to fight. So I feel not only physically good when I'm cycling, but I feel like I'm doing something about this problem, and that feels really good.
Parkinson's disease, right? It's complicated. Nobody wants it. You're not going to wish it on anyone that you know.
Maybe it's a unique perspective on this, because while I fault Parkinson's for some of my travails, I credit it for the things that are going really well in my life. And I know that sounds weird, but as I commented, I'm a much better cyclist now because I do it with focus. It changes your relationship, the relationship with those around you. It's an event change in your life. For me, I had to stop working. That makes a big change. But I think I found the secret to happiness with Parkinson's, and that's letting go of the image that you have of who you are, and that image being tied to you as a younger person, because there has been a change, and that change has to be accommodated. And when you accommodate it, when you're no longer competing with younger you and feeling dissatisfied because you're taking note of the things that you used to be able to do, but now you don't feel that you can. Instead of making that contrast, focus on who you are and what you can do, and don't contrast it with anything. That we all know not to contrast our successes with other people. That's the recipe for misery. Well, don't do it with younger you either. You'll end up being happier if you acknowledge who you are and what your limitations are, and then be the best you can be at that.
You know what? I remember when we were cycling across the country.
And here's the ever popular segment, Jim's Spinning Wheels Tour Flashback.
And you were talking about how getting across Canada on bike had always been a goal of yours. But until there was an actual Parkinson's diagnosis, that potentially that trip across the country might not have happened.
You're definitely right. I no longer have bucket lists. They're now, near-term to-do lists. And if you think about it, if Parkinson's has caused you to go through this life change, as it has for me, it's changed my employment, my so many elements in my life. What it has done for me is given me time and opportunity that I didn't have when before this circumstance.
Tell me a little bit about what's coming up.
So it turns out I'm not the only Parkinson's cycling lunatic. There's at least 19 others, because a group of us, in fact, I leave tomorrow for England, and we're going to go to the World Parkinson's Conference in Barcelona, but we're going to get there in style by biking there from England. So I'm going with an international group. We will be paving the way to Barcelona.
Do you know anybody who you'll be cycling with?
I don't know anybody personally. I made a stop to meet one of the people when I was transiting through Calgary, and I have been training online with the mighty Norwegian crew, and I am just so eager to share a beer with them.
How many days is it going to take? Like how much will you be cycling each day?
So it's 1,600 kilometers, and we're doing it in 15 cycling days. So it'll be just averaging just a little over 100 kilometers a day. I've taken a look at the route map, and there's just one mountain that we have to climb. Other than that, smooth sailing.
Like, do you get a jersey for this, or what sort of stuff? What swag's in it?
A jersey with our personalized names on the back.
Nice. How did this actually come about? Like, you're a guy from Canada.
I found out about it too late. I found out about it indirectly. Somebody who was already signed up for it is a Canadian from Calgary, and they contacted Parkinson's Canada because they wanted to do a little bit of fundraising, and they want to know some of the ins and outs about how to do that. So Parkinson's Canada said, "Well, you really got to talk to Steve Iseman." We had just come back from our trip together, and they thought I might have suggestions for them. I gave them some materials. Then I thought, is there any free spots? And sadly, there were not. And there was a waiting list. So I contacted the organizer and asked about it. And she said, "Well, you can go on the waiting list." I said, "That's great. I'm really eager to go. We had just done this cross Canada trip, and it went really well." And she said, "What was that?" Turns out that it's a good thing to have experienced long distance riders in the group, and a position opened up.
At least cycling 8,000 kilometers across the country opens up another cycling opportunity for you. At least I'm glad you have some street cred because of our journey across the country. It's like, come on. It was like, gotta have something. That's gotta mean something, internationally, to go 8,000 kilometers. World Parkinson Congress, right? It's our conference. It's coming up in Barcelona, Spain, July 4th to 7th. Have you been to one of these before?
No, never have. And I really think this is going to be a special one for two reasons. It's the first post-COVID one, so there's been a bit of a drought for people gathering, and of course the biomarker news. I really think creates an exciting time in the Parkinson's community. I mean, it's the first time in recent memory that there's been a significant advancement. I think that it's more than just early detection. I think that this has the benefit, especially if they can get it to be a blood test, of improving therapies and research, because they now have a concrete way of determining if things are if they're making improvements that are more than just subjective accounts between patient and doctor. Now there's just a clear test to show if the therapies that they're testing are achieving success. And I also think that because of that, it improves the likelihood of drug therapies being successful, which from a pharmaceutical manufacturer's perspective makes it a little bit easier to green light research projects, because the chances of success have improved. I really think a heyday is ahead of us.
I see one line of dominoes falling, and then all of a sudden it branches off into 3 or 4 lines of dominoes falling. And because I'm going to I'm going to Barcelona as well, and I'll be really interested to see how many people are talking about this new biomarkers advancement, and to see with that. And so look, see, we'll have to, we're definitely going to get you back on, because I want to hear your thoughts about what happened in Barcelona. And I want to hear your thoughts about what happened in terms of how you got to Barcelona. All right. I want to hear about the bike trip. So are you good to come back on with us at a future date and let us know what happened?
I'd love to.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Spinning Wheels Parkinson's Conversations with Jim here. I'd like to thank Steve Iseman for being a guest on the show today. All right, Steve. Steve was one of the original riders coming across the country on the Spinning Wheels tour. Helped us spread the word about what Parkinson's disease is doing in Canada. Right now, we wish him luck on his trip from Brighton, UK, to Barcelona, Spain, to the World Parkinson Congress. So safe journey, Steve. I'll see you there, and I look forward to hearing all about the trip. And we look forward to having Steve back on the podcast again.
His first comments was, "It tastes awful." And, that maybe that works for cough syrup, but it shouldn't be the case for tea. So PDT tastes nice.